Hour number 1 in the books, getting ready for the 11 o'clock hour. We will head down to Waco, Texas, and hear from Dave Aranda. We just heard Mike Norvell from Tallahassee as he's previewing the Alabama game coming up on Saturday. You know, don't wait for a small problem at your house on your roof to become a huge disaster. Abide Roofing, they're here to help you today. Call Abide Roofing, 205-941-6223. They can come out to your house. They can give you a free, no-pressure roof inspection to make sure your home is safe. And now is the perfect time to do it because the next couple of days it's supposed to be pretty weather, which means no rain. So it'll get the team an opportunity to get on your roof. And once again, it's free, no-pressure roof inspection. They can tell you what's going on up there and whether it's a couple of shingles that need replacing or if you need a whole roof replacement, they can deal with your insurance company. They can do it all. And if your yard is still soggy from all that rain we've experienced, they also handle tree removal. Abide Roofing has your back no matter the circumstance. They'll even work directly with your insurance company to make sure you get and what you need to protect your home by being able to get your insurance company to cover those issues. I've seen their great work firsthand. Travis and his team are licensed, they're bonded, insured pros who genuinely care about the product and what they do for you. So if you're worried about your roof after the storm or before the next one, give them a call at Abide Roofing. That's 205-941-6223 or go to their website, abideroof.com. Let's go to Waco, the birthplace of Dr. Pepper and Baylor University's Dave Aranda.
It's good to see everybody. Excited for this moment. Good practice today. The focus and the intensity in our guys and the staff is where you'd want it to be. Everyone's looking forward to this one. You know, a lot of respect for Auburn and Coach Freeze, and know a lot of the coaches there, and know a lot of those players. And so a lot of respect for them and what they can do and what they're capable of, and really want them to achieve all of that, just not here in this first game. And so looking forward to kicking the season off, and I know that our guys are trying not to count the days, but work during these days in the lead up too. Take any questions you got.
Dave, I know you guys approach every opponent like the same in terms of preparation and everything. Is it different though going up against a Power 5, Power 4 school? In terms of the excitement that brings to the players and maybe what it could do for you if you win that game?
I try to not focus on that. The emphasis is still the same as you mentioned. I think it's very much heavy on the outside of our building, very heavy not that. And so I try to, if they're colored by all of it outside the building, when they come in the building, I try to be able to turn it the other way, and so that's always a hard thing, especially when there's no school. School is today. Or even now where there is school, is going to be, when you don't have them the entire time, I think it's always difficult.
I think that outside noise Baylor's been trying to build this game up, right? The chrome helmets, drone show, all that stuff. Mm-hmm. How big does that make this game? Maybe just playing into that and feeding into that. Have you talked to the guys at all about that?
No. I think the game is big, and they got us in a negative first down. It's second down, right? They know we're going to pass. Can we protect? Can we get separation on the receivers? And, we have a one-on-one tackle. Can we make it? We have an edge set. Can we fill and beat the crack block, and can we play the crack and go that's coming later? Those are the moments I think about.
Coach Auburn's got some really good receivers. I guess, how do you think your secondary is equipped to handle those receivers with kind of some of the pieces you brought in?
It's a challenge. I think it's a challenge. I think it's going to take the front people doing their part to help the people that are in the back. I think we're going to have to be able to get calls in. We have to have cleats in the ground. I think if you're looking at it as a one-on-one or one versus one proposition, I can see where maybe from the Auburn side you're feeling confident about all of it. I think we have to look at it as hey, this is where my help is. This is where I'm playing to my help. This is my part in the thing. I'm going to do my part so that the overall team can execute. And so I think pass rush is a big part of that too. I think, it's going to come down to stopping the run and getting them into when we feel like they got to throw it. I think if they're running the ball and they can play action pass and 4x1 RPO kind of at will, then I think we're not kind of in control of anything, and then that's when those matchups become an issue. I think if we're able to get it to where it's a one-sided thing, at least partly, I think we can play some of that better.
Coach, do you have a health update on Carl Williams?
I don't think he's going to be back. I just passed him in the indoor, and they're repping him right now, kind of post-practice on trying to loosen him up and that, but it doesn't look like he's going to make it.
Dave, you mentioned the pass rush. I know you don't want to give us your whole game plan here, but would this be an opportunity to blitz a little more to maybe to try to help those guys on the back end?
It's interesting because a lot of respect for a QB that they have, and we've watched a lot of film of him, whether it's OU or even high school, and got a big arm, so he's a big shot guy, and then is confident and collected enough to get checkdowns. But the scrambles are worrisome, and so I think more games are lost rather than won early in the season. You look at the games that were played in week 0 here, just all the turnovers and just all of it. And, I think our game is probably going to be lost before it's won. And so by somebody, And so I just think, being aggressive and all these things are things that you want to do and all this, you got to be sound. You got to keep the quarterback contained. You got to make him earn it. And so those are things we're focusing on.
Dave, second year calling plays for you again. What was the biggest challenge or philosophy change you made in adapting your defense this year compared to last season?
Yeah, there's a lot. I think, I think in this league, I think the tempo, the offensive skill, I think there is the Big 12 favors offensive skill players, talent and everything, to defensive skill players. I think that, there's a bunch of creativity and tempo. And, I think in the past at other leagues, there would be plays that could hit, or they probably would hit, but there would be, man, I'm not going to call this in this game because if it doesn't hit, man, I'm going to get criticized. There's none of that in this league. That'll be one of the first 3 plays. And so there's kind of a go for the jugular thing. And I think, to combat that, you have to know how they're seeing you, right? They want the information of what coverage you're in, what front you're in, and how it works. A lot of them have the playbook pages to all of it. And so then I think if you start from that, there's a fair amount of kind of overhauling, from the ground up work you got to do. So it's been cool to do that with this group. I'm excited to see how it looks.
Dave, with this game being played on a Friday, how do you balance being grateful for the opportunity playing in front of a national audience on a big stage, but also understanding the concerns of the THSCA of a FBS game being played on a Friday in Texas?
Yeah, when there was another game that was being talked about for being played on Friday too, possibly, and had calls to the Texas High School Coaches Association, and that kind of thing went away. And then I think this was possibly talked about as a Thursday prior. And once the one Friday game with the other opponent went away, the very next week this game came up. It was a Friday game. And so at that point you're kind of going, this is what it is. And, just the talks with just everyone involved, kind of being honest, and everyone understands why we're doing it. And so I just think, you have to be able to have those honest talks. And I'm thankful for everyone involved that we did that.
Good grief.
That was Dave Aranda, the head football coach of the Baylor Bears.
As you're laying down to sleep tonight, put all your troubles of the day behind you. Breathe slowly through your nose and exhale through your mouth. And let's talk about this big matchup we have coming up Friday. Oh, my goodness.
Just take yourself back to college. Imagine you have an 8 a.m. lecture, and that's what you have to listen to every day.
Woo! I'm out during the first break.
I would not.
I'm out.
Don't think I'd be doing great in that class.
Some of the news for Auburn fans, notable takeaways. Carl Williams, he said that he just passed him in the facility, didn't think that he was going to be back. Carl Williams, one of those returning guys with experience in the secondary, plays the nickelback position, if you will, but not available. Kobe Prentice, though, apparently is available, and he will be starting for the Bears.
I was really hoping by the time we got about 5 minutes into it that we were going to hear another reference that would make national headlines.
To little people?
I don't, whatever.
I
Just
thought
to
he
make
would
it
go
a little
back.
bit more exciting.
I thought he might go back to that one, but he didn't. What did you think about his comments and he alluded to week 0 games? More games are lost than they're won at this point in the season. You find a way to beat yourself.
Like, I guess, is he just talking about early season, like knocking the rust off? And
yeah, more games are lost than they're won.
Yeah, and I think it's fair to say that you're taking a little bit of a gamble playing a tough opponent in week 1, right? Like you don't really have much margin for error unless it's like Kansas State, Iowa State, and both sides are just really sloppy to start off. But it's the world that I don't know. You want marquee wins on your resume, don't you? So you got to play these games. But
yeah, I thought it was an interesting perspective. Not that I disagree with it, but we see mistakes by teams throughout a 12-game season.
I did like the one reporter though that asked him, said y'all are kind of hyping this game up though with the chrome helmets and the drone show, and I just kind of like that. Like y'all are making it known that this is a very important game. We know how important it is for Auburn, but clearly for Baylor, it's just as important in their eyes.
Not that I follow Baylor on a regular basis. I'm a helmet geek. This is the first time since 2017 that they've worn a chrome helmet. They're 5-4 all time in chrome helmets. Just looking for an angle.
Has Auburn decided what face mask they're going to go with? Does Auburn go with a traditional navy blue? Do they go with the white or they go with the orange? Or the white, I guess, would be the... I say you go traditional.
Yeah, I do too.
Don't do anything silly.
No, business as usual. It's a regular game, just another game.
Just go all Stormtrooper with the exception of the white face mask.
I think they should all have to wear fun socks though, since RG3 is calling the game.
Don't give in to that.
Oh my goodness. The Bears are 1-1 against SEC opponents under Dave Aranda. So it's only the third meeting against an SEC team since he's been in Waco. He had a Sugar Bowl win over Ole Miss in 2021, and they lost to LSU last year in the bowl game.
Yeah, Auburn lost to a team nicknamed the Bears last year. Beat that team the year before. Don't they play Mercer again this year? So this will be the first
I thought you were talking about
two Bear opponents.
the Golden Bears.
Oh, the Golden Bears, yes.
Did you see, speaking of Mercer, did you see their game over the weekend? Because they had their first game this
In
weekend,
Montgomery.
and it got canceled in the middle of the game because of the weather, and so it's just, doesn't count.
Down in Montgomery.
But they got a good ways into the game. I'd be a little ticked off, but
They're playing UC Davis, right?
just kind of a bizarre start to football season.
Yes, it was. So we've heard from Mike Norvell and Dave Aranda. We've got Kalen DeBoer coming up at noon. 1:30, we'll have Hugh Freeze. And we got calls at 1-800-239-WJOX. When we come back, we'll get to your calls, and we'll read your text messages next. 11:18 here on Reaction Monday. Kalen DeBoer coming up at the top of the hour. Are you seeing cracks in your foundation? Are your doors and windows sticking? These aren't just minor problems. They're signs of serious issues that will only get worse over time. Protect your home by calling Alabama Professional Services. The number is 205-951-9717. The pros really know their stuff. They'll inspect your foundation, clearly explain the problem, give you the honest, pressure-free solution. And they'll be able to fix that to unlevel the concrete that's not level with their poly-level system, whether it's a sinking driveway or a patio. that needs leveling up, they can take care of that too. 205-951-9717. Go to their website, alabamaprofessional.com.
We go to your phone calls as promised, 800-239-WJOX. Our buddy Crimson Convict wants to weigh in. CC, how are you?
I'm good, boys. How y'all been?
We're doing great. Football week.
Well, listen, tell him, Gator, I'll get to you in just a second. But when did Bob Ross become the head coach of Baylor?
Yeah.
He had like a little easel standing right next to him. He was doing some painting as he was talking.
We're gonna do a busy little blocking scheme. See if we can get us a happy little out route. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do.
It's very good.
That is good.
Well, tell him, Gator, brother, I love you. I do. You're one of my favorite people on the Terrace. You always have been. But did you go to a widespread concert last night? Because you're tripping. But, son, in what dimension is Florida State going to get anywhere near 30 points on Alabama?
I thought that was a lot of points.
Well, unless Jalen Milroe was coming back, carrying the football like a vegetarian at a Whole Foods, brother, I'll let you know it's football season. When you got them, look, all the stones are pumped up. Everybody's got high expectations. Don's predicting a double-digit win in Waco. Please tell me he'll be there Tuesday. I will make it tomorrow. Are y'all going to be down there tomorrow?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to do my best to get down there, and I hope he's there.
No, Don's already he's told us on the text line that he'll be there early tomorrow. So, yeah, he'll be there.
Oh, no. PG. I want PG there.
Oh, I'm sorry. You want PG.
PG told me that he will be there tomorrow.
Okay, PG will be there. Sorry about that.
Okay. I'm going to do my best to make it because I got to have a discussion with him. Hopefully he's down off his trip and he's seeing things in a clearer light. But guys, I'm taking the points all day long on Bama.
So you're taking the 13.5.
Do you have a score prediction for Monday? And you can change it, but on Monday, do you have a score prediction, Convict?
Shoot. Yeah, I've thought about it. I just don't think they're going to be able to move the ball. I can't dream of 20 points on their side. 14-17 for them. I don't know if we'll make it to 40, but we'll definitely get 35-38. So I'm saying 38-14.
Okay.
38-17. There's maybe a slight chance for a backdoor on them, but I think we'll come out looking good. I really do. And then as far as that Auburn game, guys, I study it, and you need to go on and look at the pick lines. A lot of them are loading up on Baylor. I don't know where they're getting it, but I'm just not going to sleep on Freeze this year. It's just like him to come out and pull something out of his rear like he's always done. And I do see 2 losses for Alabama, and I hate to say this early, and Don is absolutely going to jump out of his seat, but one of them could be down on the Plains this year.
Ooh. Interesting.
Ooh.
Could be. I don't think we'll fall below 10-2, maybe even 11-0 walking into that game. But it's going to be tough. I think that Hugh Freeze is going to have he's going to have a good year. I don't think his job's going to be in jeopardy next year, but I'll try to make it up there tomorrow. And PG, you better be there, my friend.
All right. Thanks, Crimson Convict. Appreciate it.
Let's continue. Let's go to Josh. He's in Birmingham. Hey, Josh, how are you?
Good morning, guys. How you doing?
We're doing great. Hope you are.
That's great. Long-time listener. I called a lot last year with work and everything. I haven't been able to call as much as I want this year, but I just want to touch on a couple things. Down in Waco, I think that game is going to come down to 2 position groups. I think Auburn's offensive line and Auburn's defensive line is what's ultimately going to win them that game. I think it may be a little ugly. I think it may be one of those, 17-10 or 24-17 games where there's a couple of turnovers. But I think at the end of the day, I think Auburn will be able to push Baylor around a little bit. And I think, their pass rush with, Kelger, Falk, and those guys, I think they'll be able to disrupt Baylor enough to where, they force a couple of mistakes. And I don't think Baylor's going to be able to run the ball, to be completely honest with you. And I think if Hugh Freeze just gets out of his own way, as sometimes he doesn't do, and just is content with handing the ball off and getting 4 or 5 yard gains, I think Auburn wins the game.
What score? Do you have a score that you would like to pass along?
I'll go. I think it's going to be ugly. I think it's going to be a couple turn. I think it'll probably be a 4 or 5 turnover game between both teams. I'm going to go 27-21 Auburn.
Okay.
And I think it's going to be Baylor is driving with a chance to take the lead or tie it up, and I think Auburn's defensive line makes a couple of plays, forces an interception or something. Auburn walks out of Waco with a win. Now down in Tallahassee, I got Bama winning that game in a close one. I would take the over with the points. I got Alabama 31-28. I think what people are discounting is 2 things. Number one, Tommy C is in a system now that fits him about as well as any system in college football could. Gus Malzahn's offense is very easy to read. It's very easy to walk up to the line of scrimmage and diagnose. And if all else fails, he can take off and get a first down or get you 10, 20 yards. And then he's not going to. And the thing is, you know, if you as an Auburn fan, one thing I've noticed with Gus over the years is he doesn't really ask quarterbacks to do much than what he thinks they can already do. There were guys in his systems that I think he thought too highly of, and he asked them to do too much. And then he had guys in the system where, you know, they probably could have did more if he would have allowed them. Like there were times with when Nick Marshall even, you know, where you were thinking like, man, you know, this guy can kind of throw the ball. Why don't we just let him rip? So if I know anything about Gus, he's not going to overestimate what he has at the quarterback position. I think Alabama on the offensive side of the ball, my biggest question mark with them this year is not quarterback. It's if you go back and traditionally look at the Alabama teams that have succeeded, they've always had 1 or 2 guys who kind of broke the mold of whatever their role was and, you know, made a couple plays in tight games. You know, to me, in recent memory, I think back to a guy like Ardarius Stewart or a guy like Kenyon Drake who, you know, kind of had a defined role, but at any point in time, they could break one for 80 and get Alabama out of a jam. I don't know if they have found that guy yet. I think Jan Miller could have been that guy. Because I think, you know, with what he can do catching the ball out of the backfield, as well as, you know, running the ball in that offense, I think he could have been that guy who, you know, made a couple of plays and got some momentum going. I don't think they're going to have that guy in this game because I don't think you can just throw a bunch of deep balls to Ryan Williams and say, hey, just go win these 50-50 balls all game. So,
Josh,
I think it's going to.
We appreciate it. Thank you so much. You're welcome to call anytime. Really good synopsis of both of those games we're going to get coming up. First on Friday with Auburn and Baylor, and then FSU and Bama on Saturday afternoon.
You know, for me in that game, and we won't give our picks on a Monday, but the way I'm leaning is the issues that Baylor has had, especially last year. I know it's a different team, but you can look at their numbers from last year. They were 11th out of the 12 schools in the Big 12 in regards to their passing defense. That's a problem when you go up against one of the, if not the best wide receivers core that you're going to face in college football. And they were 27th in total passing defense last year. I mean, are you able to improve that much? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And going against the likes of Cam Coleman and Singleton and Simmons and the rest of the guys. I mean,
Dave Aranda
tough.
alluded to this as well, but if Auburn's offensive line, if they can come in and be really physical and push them around in the running game, then I think it's a long night for Baylor. Baylor's going to get some points, but if Auburn's offense is able to dictate and you get what you hope you get if you're Hugh Freeze from Jackson Arnold and that receiving core, it should be a good night for Auburn.
Should be a good one.
Back to what he said, though, with Gus, and we've said it. I think in a game like this, whether it's scripted, how long that goes, how much success Castellanos is able to have, but he's going to have success.
One, I said it last week, like, don't be surprised if Alabama's down 7-0 early in that football game because Gus has drawn up just a fantastic opening drive that they've practiced now for weeks and weeks and weeks. So it's about how do you respond to that? Because, I mean, Florida State's going to get theirs, right? They're going to score some points. It's just a matter of if you're keeping them in that 21 points or less kind of range like we've been talking about, then you should be just fine because I don't think anybody's worried about Alabama being able to score points. But
those linebackers are going to be tested for Alabama early.
Yeah. Defensive line's going to have to be able to create some pressure, make it uncomfortable for them.
And they're calling for rain on Saturday at Doak Campbell.
Woohoo.
So,
well,
run the dang ball.
You got a different quarterback handling the ball, so maybe it won't be as bad as what we saw in the bowl, or
Yeah, hopefully not.
maybe the game versus South Florida last year. Other games that didn't involve rain, but I digress.
The Oklahoma game, well, it was dark. It's hard to see. When
The
it's
lights
dark.
were on.
Yeah, it's dark.
Some involved in that game, it appears that ball handling is
What was the
still an issue.
Vandy excuse? The cranes? Maybe the sunlight bounced off the cranes in the end zone?
It was too sunny then, Pat.
It was.
Too sunny.
Okay. There was too many Alabama fans there.
That's right. It was distracting.
We will continue with your phone calls. Top of the hour, we'll hear from Kalen DeBoer. This is Three-Man Front on Reaction Monday on Jocks. So the Alabama offensive coordinator, Ryan Grubb, he is behind the microphone as we speak. Kane Womack, he will be behind the mic in about 10 minutes. And then Kalen DeBoer, we will carry those comments live at the top of the hour.
Well, if you're looking to lose weight this football season just to feel better about yourself, feel better about your body, well, you can do it with our friends at Mandu. And the great thing about Mandu is because of the technology that they have there, they've made it convenient, easy to fit your schedule during the busy fall that you have with kids, events, football. 15-minute workout, you're going to get results. I've gotten results. So many others that have tried Mandu have gotten results. It's electrical muscle stimulation fitness. They put you in a suit. They hook you up to a machine. It sends electric pulses to various parts of your body, and it's 15 minutes. That's the equivalent to 6 hours in a gym. And your first visit is free. They'll put you through the workout. You can try it for 15 minutes, decide if you like it or not. I can guarantee if you do like it, you're going to get results. Mandu in downtown Homewood. Tell Paul and the gang that Landrum from Three Man Front and Jocks sent you.
So earlier this morning, there was an early release of the coaching responsibilities at the University of Alabama, and Ryan Grubb will be the only coach that will be in the press box coaching. All other coaches at Alabama will be down on the field. That's not, Kane Womack. He was down on the field all last year.
No, I know what it said there, Pat, but any support staff.
Yeah, they'll be up there with him.
I was going to say, you need extra sets of eyes.
No, there'll
but this
be
is just
plenty
position
of
coaches.
Yeah, there'll be plenty.
Ryan Grubb
of,
doesn't.
Maybe he doesn't. Everybody get out.
Now, he was just talking about that moments ago. They just said, is this odd that, you're on a staff where you're the only coordinator that will be in the press box, that everybody else will be on the field? He goes, I'm going to do what I've always done, which is been in the press box, and I'll have my support staff.
Hey, you have the success you had against LSU last year. There'll be no coaches in the press box at the end of the game.
Yep, very much
Just
so.
got to call a good game.
So we'll see if Kalen DeBoer, how his mood is at the top of the hours. We heard Mike Norvell. Sounded like typical Mike Norvell, and then Dave Aranda put us all asleep at 11 o'clock.
And Kalen DeBoer, he's not the most animated, but golly, neither
He's
is
better
Hugh
than Dave
Freeze.
Aranda.
Yeah.
Both of those guys, I think, maybe a little bit more inflection. We got a lot of comments on that, by the way.
So a lot of people have been calling in, talking about their, not their locks of the week, but just their picks of the week between Alabama and Auburn games, Molly. And our Twitter poll question today has to do with who we think the lock is of the week.
Texas +1 at Ohio State. Alabama -13.5 at Florida State. Auburn -2.5 at Baylor. And LSU +4 at Clemson. And right now winning with 39.7%, saying Alabama -13.5 is a lock against Florida State. Coming up next, it looks like we got a close second. So Auburn -2.5 at Baylor with 22.8, Texas +1 at Ohio State with 21.2, and only 16.3 saying LSU +4 at Clemson.
Early this morning, Conrad, this thing was a runaway. I mean, this was like 55% was saying the 13.5, that Alabama was going to smoke Florida State. And now all of a sudden, this thing has gotten a lot more respectable. And with Texas +1 and Auburn -2.5, that's kind of battling it out right now for the second most lock of the week.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's surprising that Alabama, and I know more Alabama fans that vote, and we do. That's the reality of the audience that we have. But I think when you just, first off, I'll say this. I don't think I would be absolutely shocked if any of these teams lost on Saturday, even Alabama. I'd be disappointed, but I don't think I'd be absolutely shocked. But I do think that with LSU and Clemson, right, that's kind of a toss-up. Ohio State, Texas is a toss-up. I think Auburn, Baylor, and Alabama, Florida State are in a different kind of category in terms of being locks. I'd feel much better about those games than I do Texas or LSU this weekend.
Ryan Grubb is done.
That was it?
That's done. Like, he was there maybe 6 minutes.
It's the Mike Leach special right there. That's impressive.
Efficient.
Like, when he walked up, he didn't even have an opening statement. It was like straight to the questions, and he's done.
They don't have time for questions, Pat. They're game planning.
Talking season's over. Your question, please.
Back to the film, I guess.
And back to the phones, 800-239-WJOX. Let's go to Beham Dog. Beham Dog, what's up?
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Good
I
morning.
think the conversation with Ryan Grubb, Dave Aranda, and Kalen DeBoer would probably like being at your friend's house and watching an intense battle of Pong on Atari.
Back and forth.
Yeah, but very slow. Yeah. Anyway, I don't understand all this foosball talk this week. I don't get it. I don't understand. I'm not a big fan of college football. I need y'all to dive into last night's Air Guitar Championship that aired on ESPN Ocho. Dive into the analytics and break down what you guys saw, and I will check you guys out tomorrow, and we can discuss in greater detail. Have a great week, guys, and
Appreciate it.
Go Dogs.
Thank you.
Thank you, man.
I'll admit I did not see that on the Ocho. Did you?
Mm-mm.
Molly?
No.
Conrad?
Negative. Didn't know that was
I knew it was
thing.
a thing, but I didn't know that it was on television for you to watch.
No. And to be honest, I don't even know if I'll go back out and check it out for like even a minute.
Air guitar?
Yeah.
It was in Finland, right?
Got to have good wrist technique.
Is that where it was?
I go air drums. Rarely do I go air guitar.
We should just have an air band, right? Somebody on vocals, bass, guitar, drums. I think that'd be
I'll
entertaining.
go keyboard occasionally if I'm the passenger and a good song comes on when I'm riding down the road.
Could have the triangle, the
Maybe.
air triangle.
Yeah.
Got to stay on rhythm.
Bruce Feldman of The Athletic, he is predicting Alabama to make the college football playoff as a 4 seed. He has them beating Ohio State. Then they would go on to play Clemson in the semifinals and lose. Clemson would play Penn State for the national championship, and Clemson will win a national championship again for Dabo Swinney, according to Bruce Feldman. So Bama would be a 4 seed. Georgia would be in as an 8 seed. LSU would be in as a 6 seed. But Miami would upset Georgia, according to Bruce Feldman. Also from The Athletic, Manny Navarro, who is a college football writer, he went and gave a detailed prediction for every one of the top 25 teams. And for the Alabama Crimson Tide, he said the following: I feel better about the Crimson Tide than I did back in February. A road win at Georgia in September bolsters Alabama's resume, and Kalen DeBoer makes the playoff despite being upset on the road at South Carolina and Auburn. So he wins at Georgia, loses at South Carolina and Auburn. Do you take that, Conrad? If we could tell you right now, as an Alabama fan, you beat Georgia, but you lose on the road at South Carolina and Auburn, but you make the college football playoff.
Yeah, I'll take that. And I know some people would say, oh, well, but not with the loss to Auburn. Just get in the playoff.
You feel better about this
Get in-
Alabama team than you did back in February?
Yes, I do. I feel good about it. I really do. It doesn't mean there's not question marks. Doesn't mean things can't go wrong. But from everything that I've seen and the people that we talk to that are closer to the program than we are, there's reason for a lot of optimism. Doesn't mean that it's going to pan out, but the pieces are there.
I talked to somebody who I will not mention. Everybody would know him. He played at University of Alabama, well-known guy. And he was telling me yesterday that he thinks that this first game is going to be a little bit trickier than some Alabama fans think. A lot trickier, actually, is how he said it.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be an easy game. I think too many people are banking on the Florida State from last year to show up, and that's not the team that you're going to see on Saturday, I don't think. But again, in my opinion, I think Alabama, I'm not saying that it won't be close at certain times, but if they are the team that we think that they are, you should not have too much trouble this Saturday.
And the number one reasoning was, he said, I've been Gus'd too much.
I do think if Gus Malzahn was not the offensive coordinator, a lot of people would feel a lot more confident about Alabama. But, hey, Gus is a good OC. We'll see what he can do. He's had a lot of time to prepare.
Yep. We'll continue with their phone calls, 800-239-WJOX. As we continue, we got Kalen DeBoer, his press conference coming up at the top of the hour. Hugh Freeze in the 1 o'clock hour. We continue. It is a Football Monday, Reaction Monday, Look Ahead Monday here on Jocks. 11:46 here on this Monday, week 1 of the college football season, officially beginning Thursday night. Talking Alabama. Speaking of Alabama, Kalen DeBoer, his weekly press conference coming up at the top of the hour. Auburn, Baylor coming up on Friday night. Hugh Freeze, his press conference can be heard right here at 1:30. We continue with your phone calls and your texts. Let's go to Greg first. He's in Russellville. Hey, Greg, how are you?
Hello. Good to talk to you guys and girls.
Great to hear from you.
Well, it's been a little while. I've been traveling all summer, so I've kind of been out of the pocket. But I just wanted to say about the ball games. I'm a big Alabama fan, but since NIL and the transfer portal got all cranked up, I'm just never confident about any game. I've lost all of that.
Too much parity.
Because you can transform a team. I mean, you can be 2-9 one year and be playing in the playoffs the next year. I mean, it's just like the NFL in the playoffs. I mean, a terrible team could be playing for the Super Bowl the next year. So I'm just not ever comfortable. But I was just hoping we'd gotten rid of Waffle House Gus. Now we get to see him again. But anyway, I just want to say Dave Aranda. You know who he reminds me of? You'll never believe who I thought. I had my grandkids over and we had some old cartoons on. You remember that dog Droopy? And he was always walking around and he would say, I am so excited.
Do remember
like that. That's what Dave reminded me of just now. So I just wanted to throw that out there. I instantly thought of Droopy.
Droopy might be more exciting than Dave Aranda.
Well, he just seemed all excited, didn't he?
He did.
He may see some writing on the wall. That may be why he's not excited.
Could you imagine him going to one of these rubber chicken dinners of some Baylor bigwigs and trying to raise money for that football program? Can you imagine how dynamic that dinner would be?
Or if they sent him to convince Scott Drew not to take the Kentucky basketball job?
He's just a fan. He's a good coach. I'm gonna give him that for sure. But he's been a little animated on the sideline before, but a few times. But that's just what he reminds me of because I don't never get over that little cartoon saying, "I'm just so excited."
That sounds just like him.
Well, Greg.
Anyway, guys, that's it. The one thing I don't like about it is being on Friday night, though. I don't like that game. I'm an Alabama fan, but I'd love to watch it, but I got to go support my high school team.
There you go. Yep, I know the feeling. That's what I'll be doing. So,
well, y'all have a great week.
All right, appreciate it.
Thanks, Greg.
Thanks, Greg. Appreciate the phone call very much. 1-800-239-WJOX. Saw this morning that the University of North Carolina, they have unveiled that they will have a season-long documentary following Bill Belichick and the Tar Heels. Did you see this?
Yes.
It's going to be on Hulu this fall. The project will be produced by Everwonder Studio. Belichick emphasized in his announcement to the players that the show will focus on the team as a whole. If you remember, plans for a Hard Knocks miniseries with HBO fell apart in March. After lengthy negotiations between NFL Films and the university, Belichick reportedly withdrew at the last minute because NFL Films would not allow his girlfriend, Jordan Hudson, to be involved as a producer. It is unclear today if Jordan Hudson will be a producer for the Hulu project. So you will get to see something behind the scenes with Bill Belichick, but according to the head coach, it's going to focus more on the players, not him or his girlfriend, Jordan Hudson. Does anybody want to watch a behind the scenes of just North Carolina football without Bill Belichick and his girlfriend?
No.
I don't think this thing's going to be streamed very much.
I think the docuseries should be their personal life and not what's actually going on at the football facility.
Yeah.
I'm more interested in that.
Very small snippet of football.
Yeah. Like, I
Home
want,
life.
like, what does Bill Belichick do from 5 p.m. to 1 a.m.? That's what I want the docuseries.
How much of a difference is there in what he wants to watch on TV and what she wants to watch on TV? Does she teach him things about social media?
Can we do the lobster again, honey? Well, it's going to be the strawberries designed like the lobster that you loved so much last time. I want the real thing.
Does she have like wine and book night with former sorority sisters that come over to the house? He comes in, he's like, "Oh, what are you guys doing?" You know, that kind of stuff.
Has she already joined a bridge club? Because that's probably what, his friends would be into. Do they hang out more with his friends or her friends?
His
That's what I want.
son's wife and the interaction she has with Jordan.
That would be great.
Just make that its own show.
Absolutely.
You thought the Housewives were bad. The claws in that one. 800-239-WJOX. That's the text line. And a lot of you responding to either callers' predictions, the press conferences that we heard from Mike Norvell at Florida State and Dave Aranda at Baylor. Uncle Jerry from Hayden says, OMG, if Aranda's pregame speech isn't better than his press conference, Baylor is in trouble. Hopefully they can get it done Friday night against the Barners. Bama's defense will make Tommy Boy eat his words and the football. Bama 31-0 over Free Shoes University, RTR, the number 4 life, and go Baylor Bears.
That's bold.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be 31-0, but I like the confidence.
Mike in Andalusia, thanks for listening, Mike. He says, my early bold prediction, my Troy Trojans upset Clemson in week 2 in a sandwich trap game. The old sandwich trap game. For Clemson, after a physical game versus LSU and looking ahead to the first ACC game in week 3 versus Georgia Tech. Go Trojans.
That would be a heck of an upset.
Going back to Mark Jones and RG3, the favorite tandem of one Pat Smith. He would go out of his way to find their games when they would do that on ESPN together.
Oh, Mark Jones?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Mark Jones and RG3 was by far the corniest broadcasting duo in all of broadcasting history. They made watching the game extremely excruciating. Whoever was responsible for putting those two together should have been reprimanded. Thank you for the text. Crimson Convict says he doesn't see FSU scoring 20, yet offensively, FSU is far superior to Bama in key positions. Ooh, how about this one? Quarterback, they give the edge to FSU. Running back.
Who is this?
FSU. Have no idea. Didn't sign it.
Is this Dave?
No, it's not Dave. I know it's not Dave. OC versus DC. FSU. Wide receiver versus DB. FSU. Best kicker in the ACC. And then signs it, prove me wrong.
I'll give him the kicker. I definitely think I would take Ty Simpson over the Boston College quarterback that got benched last year. I think Alabama's wide receivers are going to be top 5 group in the country, so probably better than Florida State's DBs. If you want to take Gus over Malzahn, I'll let you have that one. But running back, I mean, no offense, I love Roydell Williams. He was a great kid, and I appreciate what he did at the University of Alabama. That guy's at Florida State because they couldn't get him on the field at Alabama. So, yeah, I'm going to take Alabama's running back.
Our buddy Keller just sent us a pic, texted us a pic, and he is in the end zone there in Conway, South Carolina, on the teal turf, the home of the Chanticleers.
Very nice.
Thank you, Keller. We appreciate it. He was in Kansas, last week? Pretty cool job. More of your texts, more of your phone calls. How about some Kalen DeBoer, Alabama's weekly press conference previewing the game in Tallahassee. Coach DeBoer is next on 3 Man Front.